If you don't mind sharing with us, you guys did a cabin where you were able to soda blast the outside of the cabin. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about that and also about soda blasting itself, how green it is, what your mold removal process is. Share with the viewers how we use the green products and how that relates to your clientele, and do they like that process or not, if you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So with regards to the cabin, that was another one of those kind of one-off oddball things. We got a request. We hadn't done it before. We felt confident and doing the research that it was going to be a really good solution for what this gentleman wanted to do. So we were able to come in there. We soda blasted his cabin in about a day and a half. It wasn't super big, but it was probably a 1,200 square foot cabin. What he really wanted to do was just get everything prepped so that they could go ahead and stain and seal the cabin. The soda blaster did a great job removing some of the kind of algae looking green funk that was on the space without doing any damage to the wood. It's a soft enough process that it doesn't damage any wood, but it's just abrasive enough to take off what wanted to come off. So that worked really well. The alternative options that he had been presented were a glass bead aggregate or a corn husk aggregate. The glass beads, he would be responsible for cleaning those up, which I can imagine is not going to be a fun process. They're going to be there for forever. And the corn husk, while initially that doesn't seem like too bad an idea, it seems that brings in a bunch of mice, and then you have rodent problems after that. So it looked like the soda blasting was a really, really good solution. And we were about 25% of the price of some of those other operations to come in. So ended up being a really good deal for everybody. And I got a text we did that about a year ago. I got a text from him this week that said, "Thank you again for coming out here and taking care of this. I'm changing out all the PVC in the crawl space. I couldn't be happier with the work that was done. And it's so enjoyable to do the plumbing work in this crawl space that's been encapsulated." So that was great. With regards to the green products, all of our competition is using really high VOC, really gnarly chemicals. You have to leave the house for 24 hours. You have to be all suited up. All we use is baking soda and peroxide, and we're able to get results that are superior to those guys. So if indoor air quality is really a big driver for you, it's just not even a decision to make. We're typically a lower cost option than some of the other big guys around here, in addition to using all green products and being the highest rated crawl space company around.
Yeah, plus you're physically removing the mold versus just squirting it and leaving it in place. And a lot of people don't understand that even though that mold they claim is dead, well, dead mold is an allergen. Dead mold is a food for more live mold. And I just recently went through a mold class, and the microbiologist said that there's a lot of bugs that like to eat dead mold. So, like you talked about that corn husk, you could be attracting pests that you didn't realize because you chose a cheaper option, which isn't really that effective in the beginning. So I appreciate you sharing that with everybody. And just to be clear, the soda blasting you did on the cabin was on the outside of the cabin.
Yes,
not
yes.
on the inside of the cabin.
Yeah, that is true. But the guy was so happy with it. He asked if I would do it on the inside, and I told him 4 or 5 times, like, this is not something that you want to do. Like, you're gonna get it everywhere. And I was eventually able to kind of talk him out of it, but he was ready to go. But I don't think that that's something that we should do.
Yeah, that's great. Well, great. I appreciate you joining with us, Paul. And listen, you're doing a great job up there in Delaware and in Maryland area, and looking forward to hearing more from you. Thanks again for this call.